Hello everyone, this is JPL, back for another review, and today I'll be going over my first viewing of the My Little Pony 2017 movie. I saw the movie yesterday afternoon, and yesterday was Friday, today is Saturday, and I had to wait all day, and I had to wait all night to actually record this, because my mind, after watching it, I don't really know what was going on. It was just all over the place. Hold on, there's a cat that wants to come inside. Get in here, you little grubby creature. Come on. Get in here. And, let's see this little creature. Hello. Alright. Now, I have to get this thing back the way it was. There you go. And, yeah. Mine was kind of... I didn't really know what to think at the end. And I had to, process everything as it went on, because my mind just couldn't really grasp one little thing. And I'm guessing that's because my mind was just taking in so much in just that small time watching that movie that it needed a lot of processing time. And now that I've thought about everything, thought about what I needed to say, I can now talk about it. And first things first, I enjoyed the movie. The movie's really good. I'll tell you that. The movie was very good. However, it's disappointing because you don't really have an audience. At least for me, I went to the theaters, and I went with my sister. Hey, that's one thing. And most of the theater was, little girls with their dads, which was cute. Then a couple of bronies here and there. I had never seen those bronies before. But the theater wasn't as packed. Probably about 10 people, even probably more. It's probably what I would say. And that's this big theater. And it's not really filled. And so whenever things happen on the screen, you probably would hear one person laughing because they're a brony. You can tell it was them. They're older kids, so they don't understand the jokes. And so yeah. And that's why I think it's just going to be the real trouble with this movie is watching in an audience. Because if you watch Star Wars is immediately amazing, because mostly every time you watch it, there's usually an audience. I mean, the theater may not be full, but there's usually enough people that the energy surrounding it is just there. This movie didn't really have that, which is sad. I want to watch it again, and I hope to watch it when there is a audience. I don't know if that will be the case. Where I'm at, I'm not sure. I don't really think there's many bronies, because we don't really have a meetup here. We don't really have a group for bronies here. There used to be a group a couple years ago, but I think they all scattered out, moved away, or something like that. I don't know. I have to look into it. I wasn't here then. But yeah, any of you guys, you're going to watch the movie, watch it in a group. Go to any brony meetup. Even just take the trip to go. Trust me, it's going to be worth it to watch it with an audience, surrounded by people who all love it. Because me, I wanted to enjoy the movie more. And I was kind of feeling sad during the movie theater, because I'm just watching it by myself, and it feels like whenever I'm just watching or doing reaction videos to a single episode where I'm not really experiencing the episode. I'm not experiencing a major event. I'm just watching it, which is not something that you want to do for something that's major like this. 7 years, and we finally get the movie, and once we finally get the movie, there's no energy with an audience, and it's not as enjoyable. With that said, I'm gonna get into spoilers. I'm gonna tell you what I think about things, what I like, what I didn't like. What I liked the animation, smooth, fantastic, well done, lots of work put into it. What I don't like is the art design of the characters. And while the design is not bad per se, I would say it's good, but I feel like it would be good if it was for a next generation of ponies, because these characters, these are all from the TV show, and they all have a different design. And so for me, when you change the design even just a little bit, you're breaking apart from the show, which I don't think is a very good thing to do. And that's one reason why my enjoyment of the movie was tad down. And, immediately going into it, I have to go in with just a different design. And it looks cool, but also it looks weird because they're not the characters I watch every week. Another thing, the music for the movie. The songs were good. They're really good. I enjoy the songs. They're well done, of course. However, I feel like they're kind of a step down in quality. And I'm not really saying it's like, oh, they're doing lazy. No. I think that they're kind of running out of ideas. Daniel Ingram, he does a lot of work. He's been working for the show for so long now that it's hard to come up with brand new tunes that could become like the biggest song out there. And I feel like the music in the movie, they're not on par with some of the best songs from the show. Winter Wrap Up, the Best Night Ever, the whole musicals that you have throughout the show, Art of the Dress, stuff like that. I still feel that they were better than the music from the movie. Now, I have the soundtrack, I listened to it after the movie, and I really enjoy it. It's very catchy, and I'm sure it's going to grow on me in the future, but right now, it is not the best thing ever. I've heard better, and, yeah. And that's the problem with music whenever the same artist release something, is that you're always expecting something to be better than the one done before. You're always hoping that whatever they do next tops what they did, and that will become your next favorite. However, it's not always true. It's not always true. And so you get what's the stuff here. And then of course you have inclusion of songs that didn't really need to be there. If I were to go through songs, the ones that I would say don't need to be there would be the I'm the Friend You Need, the song sung by Capper. And that really doesn't really add much. And I guess it's just saying, I don't know, try to convince the characters. Yeah. Rainbow, while it's a good song, it didn't really need to be there. It was just there to be the excitement, just to pump things up at the end. Off to See the World is the same thing. And then you gotta think, what does a lot of this have to do with ponies? You have the rest of the album here, the second half, and I don't see their relevance even after watching them, listening to them, and everything else. Everything else was good, but I still don't really know where they belong. Open Up Your Eyes. I love that song. I think that's probably a really good villain song to have. And Emily Blunt, she can sing apparently. That was good. I like the inclusion of the Ursa Minor in that because I was saying we needed that. Let me check the time and how long I've been going here. Okay, not bad. About 10 minutes. Alright, let's just go on with the other thing. So, what are my personal things I gotta say about this movie? I think that the movie was fantastic in the opening segment, introducing all of our main characters, having the world of Equestria. It's kind of weird that it's centered in Canterlot and we don't really get to see Ponyville, which is strange, but beside that, it's fine. And that section of the movie is my favorite part of the movie. And if your favorite part of the movie is the beginning, yeah, that means, I don't know. I mean, Rogue One, the best part of the movie was the end of the movie. And that's a good example. You watch through it, but you try to grasp onto it, even if it gets boring at small segments, but it's all worth it at the end, just for that small Darth Vader clip. This movie, watching the first part, it's great, and then the part where I feel like it just drops or struggles is once the villains come into play. Like, once our characters are defeated. Like, once the main six, they leave Canterlot by the waterfall, that's where things start to struggle a bit. The characters there, they are fine. However, I don't think you get to learn much about them through this movie. And through this, you can tell that this was a movie made for kind of the fans, because they don't really go into the deep layers of the characters. And the characters act as if we've already gone through the many adventures of these characters, which it's true for us fans of the show, but when you're a new person watching this, and you're someone who analyzes everything, you don't really get to know these characters. You get their small pieces, like, this is the fast one, this is the funny one, this is the apple one, I don't know. Besides that, there's a lot of stuff missing, and I guess it's just trying to say, watch the show. However, I feel like they should have had something. And one thing I will say, exposition would be a good thing in this movie at the beginning. Because if you say, like, I don't know, I feel like there should have been a moment where Twilight was uncertain about the beginning of the movie with how, I can't really do this, the princess pushed me off. How her friends could say, you can do this, Twilight. We've defeated Nightmare of Moon, Discord, T-Rex, all the major villains. If they mentioned those little beats, those little parts of history, that can make the impact better. So if you're a person not watching this, you hear all those main things and you're wondering, what the heck do these ponies do? Then you got them more interested in the world, which I feel like they should have done that. But, it's what they do. And so the rest of the movie, the reason why I don't feel like it works as well is because they're not really important. Because you go through a different world, and a lot of this movie was just discovering new places. However, a lot of these new places, they don't have an impact in the main story. You go to that main place where, it's desert place where you meet the cat person, and that place doesn't really do much. I mean, the character designs there aren't that great. They're kind of bland. They're generic, which is probably what their budget was like. Well, we had to make these characters generic. We can't really put too much time into this. And that kind of suffered because it's not like, ooh, what is this world? Ooh, there's lots of detail on this thing. This is a weird creature. No, it's just like, blah. I think that's a fish. I think that's probably a bird. That's a pig of some kind. I don't know what they are. Yeah, it's just going. I mean, that cat's the only one with the most detail on him. Let's follow that cat. That's the only thing we need to know. And so, yeah, that place where they were, I don't really care much about it because we're only there to meet the cat, and that cat doesn't really play much of a part in the role. We don't really get to know much about the cats. Any of the characters, really. You get to know that he is a scoundrel, a swindler. The bird pirates are that. They're bird pirates that used to be pirates, and the thing took over, and I don't know. I'm gonna watch this again. Plus, I'm kind of like paraphrasing everything, just so I don't have to do specifics. And then, you know, there's the sea ponies. Oh, I'm sorry, the hippogriffs. They're useless. There's only one that actually does anything. And you hire a big actress for the queen of the hippogriffs, and they don't do anything. They're, like, not really present in the movie. She has, like, what, maybe a couple of lines after the explaining of how things work, and then she's done. I don't know. I feel like they could have integrated these characters that you paid good money. The studio paid a lot of money, I'm pretty sure, to get these big names in here, and they don't really use them much. It's kind of disappointing. I kind of would have liked to know more about these characters. You know? And yeah, that's that. And the final battle of the end, cool and all. I feel like the whole cop-out with Twilight dying was unnecessary. It's like a movie trope now. You're like, oh, is he dead? Let's cry. She's not dead. I feel like at least Applejack and Rainbow Dash, probably one other character, would realize maybe she's not dead. Let's wait. But no, they all start crying. So there's that. Let's talk villains. Commander Tempest was the villain of the movie, the main villain. She's the one you see the most, and she's probably the better villain of this movie. Storm King, I liked him. He was kind of goofy. And that's kind of another reason why I don't like him, was that he was goofy. He looks intimidating, but he doesn't really act it sometimes. There are small moments where he does, and I feel like, oh, this guy could be a good villain. But then it's just replaced by silliness. Lieb Schreiber, and I was surprised by the voice he chose for this character, because he has a very intimidating voice on his own. And that's why I thought they got him in the movie, because one, he's a big actor, and two, he has a voice for a villain. And you can kind of get a hint of that whenever Storm King had a bit of a graveliness to his voice, which are very small in the movie. But when you got that, he was intimidating. Instead, you get this, like, goofy, like, high-pitcher character that, yeah, you know. And he dies at the end, which is something. I'll tell you guys now that this is only my first viewing, and this is my thoughts after the first viewing. This movie, of course, will grow on me as it goes by, as I watch it with friends. I don't really have any friends. But yeah. And yeah, I feel like okay, I lost track of what I'm going to think about. Which means the only thing left in my brain is the. Alright, I'm back. Camera cut off because I'm under a 20-minute limit after each thing. So after the camera cut off, I talked about. I'm pretty sure I talked about how I feel like the movie should have been released at a convention. You know, because the movie seems to be aimed at bronies. And if you release the movie at a convention and you give like. If you present the movie at the convention, make the people pay for it there at the convention, I feel like the audience would have been big enough that the movie would have been much better. And I talked about that. I don't think that would ever have happened, but it would have been nice to have that happen. Next thing I talked about was the Rotten Tomatoes score. Personally, I don't care about the Rotten Tomatoes score. I feel like it's not very accurate to what the movie is. Like a lot of my favorite movies, they're kind of lower in Rotten Tomatoes, like 30%. Then movies I despise are like up in the 80s and 90s, and so that doesn't make any sense. But we do have to kind of pay attention to that score because there are hundreds and others of people who are stupid who pay attention to that score and they decide their viewing experience by that score. And I don't feel like that should be the case. I feel like people should decide things on their own, but these people, they don't. They do it their own. And there's nothing we can say to them because I'm pretty sure they're stubborn and they don't want to listen. They just want to follow that score. And yeah, so that's why we have to pay attention to the Rotten Tomatoes score. Because other people do, and other people decide their viewing experience by that score. And so yeah, there's that. That sucks. The score right now is 57%, and the consensus is that the movie is rotten, which is a pain. I mean, going through some of the critics, a lot of them, they don't really seem to make sense, you know, they're just, it doesn't seem like they watch the same movies. Others, they make sense, you know, like I said, this is a movie that makes sense for long-going fans. However, it doesn't really work for people who don't really watch on their own. And I can understand that. And yeah, my personal score for the movie is an 8 out of 10. And those scores never mean anything for me. That's just a number I have in my head. Like, I don't know what to give it, I'll just put it like this. And so yeah, I hope to have a podcast for this with FlameWolf and Connell. Fenrir. Soon. Not Carell. No, not Carell. Grubber. That was another thing I want to talk about. He was the character that everyone feel that was just there for forced humor. But the thing that I find with that character was that they didn't use him a lot. He was there for forced humor, which was stupid for the movie. But it wasn't as bad as we would have liked, as we hoped, that we thought. And so that was good that he was toned down on that forced humor. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this movie. Anything else I'll probably say when I actually officially review this movie, probably 2 years from now. But yeah, for right now, with these little specific things I have placed here, this is what I think about the movie. And it is what it is. I would definitely say go and watch it. Watch it in a brony meetup. Watch it with an audience. Probably when the movie comes out on DVD. If you don't watch it in theaters. Gather a group of bronies together. Watch it on DVD. Trust me, it'll be great. And so yeah, that's all I have to say about this movie. All I can think about saying about this movie. Yeah, go watch it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.